Seniors, pause for a moment and consider this. These 9 everyday foods should never be kept in your refrigerator. Here's why. Have you ever opened your fridge and wondered, am I storing this food the right way? You're not alone. In fact, millions of people, especially older adults, unknowingly refrigerate certain common foods, believing it helps them stay fresh longer. But the truth is, this habit might actually be putting your health at risk. According to the CDC, foodborne illnesses affect nearly 48 million Americans each year. And among the most vulnerable to serious complications are older adults. But here's the part that might surprise you. Some of these health risks may actually begin in your own kitchen and not because of spoiled meat or expired dairy. We're talking about ordinary foods like potatoes, tomatoes, coffee, and even garlic. Yes, everyday items we've trusted for years can quietly become harmful simply because we put them in the refrigerator. It's a common mistake, easy to make, easy to overlook, but once you understand why it matters, you'll likely never look at your fridge the same way again. In today's video, I'll guide you through 10 familiar foods that are best stored outside the fridge, and I'll explain exactly why. You'll discover the surprising science behind nutrient loss, texture damage, and even hidden chemical reactions that can quietly affect your health and well-being. We'll explore real-life examples, helpful tips, and simple changes you can make, starting today, especially if you're over 60 and focused on staying active, healthy, and independent for as long as possible. So before you head out on your next grocery run, let's take a closer look at which foods are safe to chill and which ones should always be kept out of the cold. Stick with me until the very end. This could be one of the most eye-opening conversations you've ever had about everyday food storage. Now, let's get started. But first, I'd love to hear from you. Have you been refrigerating any of these foods without realizing the risk? Or maybe there's a food storage tip that's been passed down in your family for generations. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might be just what someone else needs to hear today. All right, ready to find out what might be silently spoiling in your fridge? Let's begin. Potatoes might not seem like a big concern when it comes to storage, but how you keep them can quietly impact your health. When starchy potatoes are placed in the fridge, those starches begin to break down into sugars at an accelerated rate. Then, when those sugars are exposed to high heat through baking, roasting, or frying, they can produce a chemical called acrylamide. And here's the part that should concern all of us. Acrylamide has been linked to cancer in animal studies, and it's being closely watched by global food safety experts. For older adults, especially those with chronic inflammation or weakened immune systems, it's something to be cautious about. But it's not just a chemical issue. Refrigerated potatoes often turn oddly sweet, mushy, or even dark in color after cooking. That's not just bad luck. It's your fridge slowly degrading their texture, flavor, and nutrition. The fix is simple. Store potatoes in a cool, dark, and dry place like a pantry or cabinet. A mesh bag, paper sack, or wooden box works well and helps preserve both the taste and nutritional value. This small adjustment can have a surprisingly big effect. Sometimes taking food out of the cold is exactly what helps you stay warm, nourished, and well. Now that we've cleared that up, let's move on to another food that's often misunderstood: bread. Bread, the soft, comforting staple that turns a simple meal into something satisfying. For many older adults, it's a kitchen essential. And storing it in the fridge might feel like a good way to keep it from going bad. But here's what most people don't realize. Refrigeration actually makes bread go stale faster. It has to do with a process called retrogradation, when the starch molecules in bread begin to recrystallize in cold temperatures. This causes the bread to become dry and firm sometimes within just a day or two. You've probably noticed it. Toast that feels too tough, or sandwiches that taste dry and crumbly even though the bread isn't expired. And that's not all. Once you take refrigerated bread out into warm air, moisture can build up inside the bag, the perfect environment for mold. And mold isn't just unpleasant, it can be harmful, especially for seniors with sensitive immune systems. So what's the better approach? If you'll finish the loaf in a few days, keep it in a sealed bag or bread box at room temperature. If you want it to last longer, slice it and freeze it, then simply toast or thaw slices as needed. It's an easy fix that helps you avoid hidden risks while enjoying your favorite meals. Now let's talk about a small but flavorful food that's also highly misunderstood when it comes to cold storage onions. Onions are a kitchen essential, from hearty soups to simple omelets. But are you storing them in your fridge? If so, you may be shortening their shelf life and creating unintended issues. Whole onions have a natural outer layer that protects them in dry environments. But in the fridge, cold and humidity begin to break that protection down. Moisture seeps in, softening the layers and speeding up spoilage. If you've ever pulled a soggy, moldy onion from your crisper drawer, now you know why. But there's another layer to this. Onions are aromatic and release strong sulfur compounds that not only break down quickly in the fridge, but also seep into other foods, giving your butter or fruit an unwanted onion scent or taste. It gets even trickier with cut onions. Once sliced, they become more vulnerable to bacterial growth, especially if they're left uncovered or loosely wrapped. There are myths about onions absorbing toxins, but the real problem is moisture and exposure to air. A damp, half-used onion in the fridge is a perfect breeding ground for bacteria. So, what's the better solution? Keep whole onions in a cool, dry, and dark area with good air circulation, like a pantry shelf or basket. Once cut, seal them tightly in a container and use them within a few days. You can also wrap them in a paper towel to help absorb excess moisture. Little changes like these help protect both the flavor of your food and the health of your body. Let's talk about tomatoes, one of the most popular ingredients in senior diets, from soups to sauces to simple sandwiches. Tomatoes add color, acidity, and flavor. But do you know what they don't love? The refrigerator. Tomatoes are naturally tropical fruits. They thrive in warmth and sunshine, and putting them in the fridge disrupts the enzymes responsible for ripening. The result? Instead of developing that signature sweet and tangy taste, tomatoes become dull, mealy, and watery in texture. You might have noticed it before biting into a rubbery, bland tomato that should have been bursting with flavor, and it's not just about taste. Cold storage reduces vitamin C, one of the key nutrients that makes tomatoes beneficial for immunity, especially in older adults. You might also notice wrinkled, shriveled skin on the outside. That's not just cosmetic, it's a stress response from poor storage conditions. So, what's the fix? Store tomatoes at room temperature, stem side down, in a bowl or basket out of direct sunlight. They'll ripen properly, keep their nutrients, and retain their full flavor. And if they're getting too soft, don't waste them, turn them into a quick sauce or soup. Tomatoes deserve care, and so does your health. Now let's move to a kitchen staple that's both flavorful and medicinal: garlic. Garlic is more than just a seasoning, it's a health powerhouse. One clove can transform a dish and deliver compounds that may help reduce inflammation, lower blood pressure, and support the immune system. But here's what most people don't realize. Refrigerating garlic weakens everything that makes it valuable. Whole garlic bulbs should be kept in dry, cool, and well-ventilated spots, not cold and humid places like the fridge. Why? Because refrigeration causes the cloves to sprout prematurely, making them rubbery and bitter. That punchy flavor you expect, it fades fast, and so do many of the potential health benefits. Worse still, chopped or minced garlic stored in oil can create a dangerous environment for Clostridium botulinum bacteria, which can cause botulism. This condition is rare but serious, especially for older adults, where even low risk can carry serious consequences. That's why food safety experts warn against storing garlic in oil unless acid like lemon juice or vinegar is added, and even then, it must be used quickly. So, what should you do? Keep whole garlic in a mesh bag, paper bag, or open basket in a dark, dry space. Use chopped garlic right away, or if you store it in oil, make sure there's acid and use it within a few days. When in doubt, chop fresh. It's safer, stronger, and just takes a moment. Now, let's look at something many people don't think twice about refrigerating: coffee. For many of us, coffee is more than just a drink. It's a comforting morning ritual. That rich aroma, the first warm sip, it sets the tone for the day. But if your coffee has started tasting bitter, flat, or just off, your fridge may be to blame. Coffee, whether in bean or ground form, is hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs moisture and odors from the air. And your fridge is full of both. That means your morning brew could end up tasting like onions, leftovers, or whatever else is stored nearby. That's not all. When you open and close the fridge, condensation builds inside your coffee container. That moisture encourages mold, staleness, and clumping, especially if the coffee isn't stored in an airtight jar. It's also a health issue. Coffee contains antioxidants like chlorogenic acids, which support brain and heart function. But these beneficial compounds degrade faster when exposed to humidity, light, and fluctuating temperatures. So here's what you should do. Store your coffee in a sealed, opaque container at room temperature. Keep it in a dark cupboard, away from heat or steam, and grind only what you need. Fresh coffee tastes better and helps preserve the very benefits that make it worth drinking. Let's take a moment to appreciate honey golden, smooth and sweet. It's one of the oldest natural remedies in human history. Used for generations to soothe sore throats, calm coughs, aid digestion, and support immunity, it's often found in senior households for tea, toast, or wellness tonics. But here's a mistake many people don't even realize they're making: putting honey in the fridge. It sounds logical: keep it cold, keep it safe, but in reality, honey is one of the few foods on earth that never spoils at room temperature unless we interfere. Cold temperatures cause honey to crystallize rapidly. That smooth, syrupy consistency transforms into a gritty, grainy texture that's hard to scoop or spread. While crystallization itself isn't dangerous, it becomes a gateway for something worse. Every time you open a cold jar, warm air introduces moisture, and moisture is honey's greatest enemy. When moisture sneaks in, it upsets the natural antibacterial balance inside the jar. That opens the door to fermentation, where honey may start to smell sour, develop foam, or taste strangely, off all signs it's no longer safe or pleasant to eat. You might say, "But I've always kept my honey in the fridge." That's okay. It's a common habit and one that's easy to change. Simply store honey in a tightly sealed glass jar in a dark cupboard, away from heat and sunlight. If it has already crystallized, warm the jar gently in a bowl of hot water, never boiling, and it will return to its original liquid form. Honey doesn't need refrigeration, it just needs a little care. Now, let's move to a fruit many people rely on for daily energy: bananas. Soft, naturally sweet, and full of potassium, bananas are perfect for digestion, muscle strength, and even heart health. For seniors, they're often a go-to breakfast or gentle afternoon snack. But if you're keeping them in the fridge, especially before they're ripe, you may be sabotaging their natural benefits. Bananas are tropical fruits. Their enzymes thrive in warmth. When exposed to cold, those enzymes shut down, halting the ripening process. The skin quickly turns dark gray or black, not from spoilage, but from cold damage. Inside, the texture breaks down. Bananas become mushy, spotted, and often lose their sweetness. Even worse, refrigeration may reduce valuable antioxidants like dopamine and catechins, nutrients that help reduce inflammation and support brain function. These are especially vital for aging adults focused on mobility and mental clarity. So what's the best approach? Keep bananas at room temperature. Hang them or place them in a breathable fruit bowl. To slow ripening, separate them from other fruits. If they over-ripen, peel and freeze them perfect for smoothies or banana bread. Now, let's talk about something that's heart-healthy, but only when handled properly. Olive oil. Olive oil is often called liquid gold, rich in monounsaturated fats and antioxidants, central to the Mediterranean diet. It's been shown to support heart health, reduce inflammation, and protect brain function, all essential benefits as we age. But if you're storing it in the refrigerator, you may be reducing those benefits without realizing it. Coal causes olive oil to solidify and turn cloudy. That might seem harmless, but repeated cycles of chilling and warming can cause oxidation, the breakdown of beneficial fats. This not only degrades the oil's nutritional value, but can even create free radicals, unstable molecules linked to aging and inflammation. Plus, chilled olive oil loses flavor. That peppery, fruity richness dulls, and it may become thick, sticky, or hard to pour. The better choice? Keep olive oil in a dark glass bottle, stored in a cool, dry cupboard away from light, heat, and air. This preserves both the taste and the benefits. If you really want to get the full benefits from your olive oil, the secret lies in how you store it. Keep it in a dark glass or stainless steel container and store it in a cool, dry cupboard away from stoves, windows, or warm appliances. Properly stored, high-quality olive oil can retain its flavor and nutritional value for up to 2 years. Just like our bodies, olive oil needs gentle care and protection to stay strong, balanced, and nourishing. And now that we've explored the truth about oils and cold storage, let's end with something even more empowering: how to reorganize your kitchen in a way that protects your food and promotes your long-term health. Let's take what we've learned and put it into practice, because even the healthiest foods can lose their benefits or worse, become harmful if stored the wrong way. But the good news is that you don't need a fancy kitchen or a big renovation to fix that. Simple, thoughtful changes can go a long way toward preserving your ingredients, your energy, and your peace of mind. Here are a few practical steps to start with even today. Group your foods by type. Keep tropical fruits like bananas, mangoes, or avocados in a breathable bowl on the counter, not inside the fridge. Root vegetables like onions and potatoes belong in a cool, dark drawer or basket with ventilation. Label your storage zones. Use the fridge only for what actually needs refrigeration, like dairy products, meats, leafy greens, and leftovers. Everything else? Find it a spot in the pantry, cabinet, or counter. You'll be surprised how much more space and clarity you gain this way. Use the right containers. Glass jars with tight lids are perfect for coffee, rice, or seeds. Mesh bags are ideal for garlic and onions. Avoid plastic wherever you can. It traps moisture and holds odors that can ruin taste and nutrition. Keep healthy options visible. What we see is what we reach for. Place fresh fruit, whole grains, or healthy snacks in clear view, not hidden behind boxes or cans. That one shift alone can reshape your eating habits over time. Even little actions like moving your honey to the cupboard or taking olive oil away from the oven can create ripple effects. Because your kitchen isn't just a place for cooking, it's where you nourish your body, support your energy, and protect your future. So take 5 minutes today, open the fridge, scan your shelves, reorganize with purpose, and give yourself the daily support you deserve. Remember, the journey toward better health doesn't always start at the doctor's office. Sometimes it starts right at home, with the foods we choose and the care we give to how we store them. So let's quickly recap what we've learned today. From potatoes to olive oil, we've uncovered 10 common foods that don't belong in your fridge and the real science behind why. We've talked about lost vitamins, unexpected chemical changes, and silent health risks that can build up over time. But we've also seen just how easy the solutions can be. It doesn't take big effort, just small adjustments. A fresh habit, a better container, a little label on the shelf. You don't need to be perfect, just consistent. And the best part? You already have the power to protect your health every time you open your fridge or reach for the pantry door. Before we go, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Were any of today's foods a surprise to you? Is there one change you're ready to make right away? Share your ideas or habits in the comments below. Your story might be just the inspiration someone else needs. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend or loved one who cares about healthy aging and living well. We've got more simple, science-backed tips coming your way soon. So until next time, take good care of yourself. And remember, health starts at home. Before we wrap up completely, I want to leave you with a few deeper thoughts, especially for those of you watching this who are committed to your long-term health and independence. We often think that big health improvements require big changes, complicated diets, new prescriptions, or gym memberships. But in reality, some of the most powerful shifts happen in quiet, ordinary places, like your kitchen. Every time you choose to protect the quality of your food, you're investing in the quality of your future. It's not just about avoiding spoilage or saving a few dollars. It's about preserving the vitamins, antioxidants, and enzymes that keep your body strong. It's about reducing inflammation, protecting your digestive system, supporting your brain, and maintaining the energy you need to live the life you want. Think about how many times a day you open the refrigerator or pantry. Each time, you're making dozens of small decisions, some automatic, some conscious, that add up over weeks, months, and years. Do you reach for something nourishing? Do you store things in a way that supports their shelf life and your health? Just like we create morning routines, medication schedules, or sleep rituals, it's worth creating a food care routine. Not complicated, just consistent. Ask yourself, do I know what's in my fridge right now and whether it belongs there? Are my shelves set up to make the healthy choice the easy choice? Am I giving my ingredients the environment they need to support me fully? If not, that's okay. This is your opportunity to start not perfectly, but intentionally. Pick one food from today's list, just one. Go move it. Relabel it, replace the container, then tomorrow do another. Build habits, not stress. And don't keep this information to yourself. Maybe a friend is struggling with energy. Maybe your spouse is dealing with inflammation. Send them this video, or better yet, walk them through the changes together. Health becomes easier when we're supported by others who care. Remember, your home isn't just a place to rest, it's your wellness headquarters. And your kitchen isn't just where meals are made, it's where healing begins. So here's your gentle reminder. Health doesn't always need a prescription. Sometimes it just needs a little more light, a better container, and a fresh decision to care for the foods that care for you. Thank you for being here, for showing up for your health. We're honored to be part of your journey. And before you go, don't miss our other video on the best foods to support leg strength and joint health. It's a powerful companion to today's topic, especially if you've been dealing with leg fatigue, stiffness, or slow circulation. Watch that next to take the next step towards stronger, more active days. See you in the next video.